Hi all, welcome back to more Conflict of Heroes. Still on solo mission 3 hunting Chernov. This is going to be part 9 of my playthrough. Um, just watched back part 7, but a lot of talking going on with Grant. Yeah, well, some of them get like that. Haven't watched part 8 as well, and that was slightly later on with a couple of drinks in me, so we'll see how that goes. So, watching back part 7, a couple of things to talk about. Um, One sort of mistake I made, I know it's not a biggie here. I marked, you see a wee red cube up there? Well, that's where this rumoured enemy was. And, well, two things in this. Now, this unit was here, this unit was here. This unit, I want to say, was down here. So these were two here. These weren't spent. This guy was sitting here spent, but I don't know if it was the spent part that put me off, but every time I was checking for closest unit, a lot of the times I didn't consider this guy. I don't know why, because he was spent. I must have just threw me in, but why I thought it was a Soviet unit, I'll never know. So this should have been considered. So when I was counting to check who the closest unit was from this guy, not only was this the closest, but to be honest, we were comparing it with this guy along here. So I was comparing it this with this, and I was ignoring that. Well, even this is closer than this, so I must have counted wrongly as well. But not only that, when we come down to it, if there's more than one and they're the same distance, you check the spent unit, and this unit's spent, this unit was spent, this unit's clearly closer. So he moved 1, 2 down that way, low risk moved towards him. He should have low risk moved this way. Probably just into that cover actually. I'm just wondering, however, though. See, this guy's probably got line of sight on that hex now, but saying that would have been before this unit moved into here. Or would it? Or would it, Grant? Well, yeah, it clearly would. Yeah, because I've done part 8 as well. Part 8 as well. I'm forgetting. I'm thinking that was the last AI move on the video though. So, but I'm forgetting I've done part 8 as well. And since, and I'm just actually looking across at the video footage just now. This unit, at the time we moved that RE, this unit was actually in. It was in here. It wasn't spent. It was in here, and that's what I was saying. These were the two that I was looking at, and I was ignoring that guy for some reason. So yeah, I'm just thinking if he would clearly move 1, 2 down here, I think that's where he would have moved to, into that colour. He's got closer to, remember at the time, this would have been his closest AI. He's not moved into line of sight. I know this is, and in actual fact, yeah, I can't now go and reveal him because he's in a +1 defensive modified hex, so he's not in open terrain. Well, he is in open terrain, but I think that's got to count, hasn't it? Oh, I've got the page open now, that's handy. It occupies or moves into a 0 DM hex in any unit's line of sight. Well, it doesn't say open terrain, it says 0 DM hex, and that is not a 0 DM hex. And he wouldn't have moved into that, but as we now moved up there, we now have him in our line of sight. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it is clearly in the line of sight. However, he's not in a 0 DM hex because of that wreck, so which gives him a +1. So that's that. So yeah, it was a bit of a mistake, just my counting, whatever. And I don't think that's affected anything else. Like I say, we can't now reveal it because he still is in cover. And yeah. And at the time, he wasn't moving into a fire zone. Oh, and that moves me on to the next one. I've been misspeaking quite a lot, and I've not used it in any way, I don't believe. Well, maybe I have. Maybe I've not moved the unit because I've thought it's moved into a fire zone. Fire zone is, well, let's get the actual wording from it. While I'm looking, I'll give you my take on it. In its fire arc, but within its range. So, fire zone. Yeah, I'll pause and find it. Yeah, it's under 5.0 in it, and it gives you descriptions, eligibility requirement descriptions. This is on page 6. Where is it? In fire zone. In fire zone is a hex within its line of sight, arc of fire, and normal range of a unit with an attack rating of greater than or equal to 0. So there was a wee bit more to it than I said. So it's got to be in line of sight, clearly, yeah. I mean, I said, I skipped that one out, but it's quite clear, because you can be in its arc of fire, but not in its line of sight. Well, is that counted as being in its arc of fire if it's not in line of sight? But you know, the two, they both go together. It needs to be in its arc of fire. So, you know, well, with tanks, to be honest, that's 360 degrees. So that's another thing I'd try to remember myself as well. So line of sight, arc of fire, and normal range, and it needs to have an attack rating of greater than, is it greater than or equal to 0? Greater than or equal, so it needs to have an attack rating of at least 0. Yeah, so if it was a minus, for instance, or it wouldn't be able to. Okay, so yeah, I think I spoke wrongly, and in particular that part 7, I noticed myself talking about a unit being in its fire zone, an AI being in the unit's fire zone, and it wasn't, because it was too far away range-wise. Range-wise, these guys only have 7 and 8, so it was 9 hexes away, I think, at the time. Yeah. Right. One more thing. Scott brought up a couple of comments, but back in Tank Hunt, he was just bringing up. He didn't really timestamp anything, so I couldn't look exactly what he was talking about. But it was reminding me that caps are used before the dice rolls, and I know that in general. I get the feeling that at that time there was something slightly different about the dice roll I was trying to make. I could be wrong. I also don't think I actually done it and rolled dice and then added caps on after that, because I'm pretty sure I would have known that was wrong. I can't remember what it was though. Like I say, he didn't direct me directly at it. Another one was him talking about the grenades card, and yeah, that's a bit of a sour subject. I want to say that the grenades, when we used it, didn't do anything. I'm kind of hoping it didn't, because I ended up changing up from 2nd edition to 3rd edition, because it's slightly better in 3rd edition in a way that I think is probably right, but you know, because there's not an awful lot of benefit from it if you look at it 2nd edition wise, whereas at least it gives you a bit of benefit in the 3rd edition. And of course, now that I'm talking about reverting back to 2nd edition now, I used it as a 3rd edition. So, but anyway, we'll kind of sweep that under the carpet, and after this mission we'll be starting to clean, and we'll just be, like I say, 3rd edition rules, I'm going to move them out of my reach so that I can't be tempted to say, oh, what is it like now? Okay, right, and then the last thing, I just wanted to look again. Now things have changed here, so it's to be honest, it's this unit here, and yeah, let's just, well, I remember where he is. Let me put a little cube there. This guy was, I'll keep him spent, but let's just say he was down there. He was down there at the time, and this guy wasn't hit. And it's when we were doing a low risk move towards cover nearest the closest unit. And so this was our target, and we wanted to low risk move towards that. And I know I went over and over this again, concluded that this was the right hex, because what worried me was he was moving from being not in a fire zone to being in a fire zone. And because the first instruction of moving an AI, if it's not in a fire zone, is to stay in a non-fire zone hex, this is why these two hexes were considered. Now, the problem was with them, they weren't getting any closer, they weren't achieving anything towards the normal movement rules. They weren't getting, if they were getting one hex closer, yes, but they weren't. If they were in cover, yes, but they weren't. If they were in the unit's flank, yes, but they weren't in any of that. So I concluded, but then I'm basically skipping by the first instruction, and the fact that this unit can kind of do the first instruction because it can move into a hex that's not in a fire zone. I chose to move them into here, which is in a fire zone. However, well, there's two things. I shouldn't really be looking at the cover because the first bullet of the movement hierarchy is moving closer to the unit or the target at the time. So that actually moved it closer. So I eventually went for that. And I still sort of, just looking at it again recently, and I was looking at a few questions regarding low risk moves, and it still had me slightly doubting myself, about if it was right. So I looked up a couple of questions, got some answers that were sort of hovering about the answer that I was looking for, and the questions weren't exactly as I was asking them, but at one minute I thought, right, I'd done it right, and then at one minute after reading something else I thought, oh, maybe I haven't done that right, maybe they should have stuck with the staying out of the fire zone. I still think so. I've ended up popping a question out there. Hopefully it's pretty simple and easily understand. I didn't do a picture or anything, so it's just explained in a short paragraph about the situation. It's not really a complex situation. I'm sure I get Lewis has answered most of my questions up to now, so I would guess he might eventually gets a look at it, be able to come up with an answer. Now he might give me his view of where he would put the unit, but anyway, that's by the by. As long as he gives me the answer to yeah, it should have actually went in there, or no, you were right, it should have went in there. So well, I put it in there, so, and then it moved back, so there's probably nothing I can do about it now, but I want these answers for the future so that so that I know what I'm doing, Right, okay, I think that's enough. That's only 11 minutes, that wasn't too bad. That's everything up to now, and it's back to me, isn't it? Yeah, because I always leave myself with. So we've got one card left, Careful Man, and we're kind of keeping that for the big guy, yeah? I think that extra +2 will be required. Also, we'll probably need to have a new round so we can get our caps back as well, because we've got no caps still. So yeah, this guy, well, he got a hit, didn't he? And we revealed that one. It's a suppressed hit marker, which is pretty decent, for when you're sitting adjacent to a Soviet tank, and we're in good cover, so that's good. So the other option was, well, we've got a few things we need to do. This guy needs to attempt to rally, I think. And this guy, we had decided to come up round this way, but see that we're not going to... Whoops. I'm zoomed right out. Want to zoom it out, it's just to see the map, it's that big. We're not going to get a look at this guy because he's in a +1 DM hex. This guy you actually would, though. If we got that guy up there, that's probably got line of sight on that without studying it closely. And the fact that there is 2 tanks here, I probably want to bring this up. But then on saying that, this guy could do with getting moving too, couldn't he? And he's got a better strength. Do you think we should have a go at rallying this guy just now? It's a 9, it's a long shot with no caps. Yeah, let's have a go at that this turn, because there's nothing else really scary. Well, I mean, yes, if they get a blue card, then this is going to happen. But remember, they are attacking with 6 -3, but then +3. So 6 against 18 still. So he's not going to take that shot on. But there is a chance he might rally that away, and then it's a different story, because then it's 9 against 18, which he will take on. We've got the other guys across the other side, one of them who can't move. And my hope was that maybe some of the AI might come down to at least let him have a shot, You can see, sorry for the glare, that's coming in the window. This guy, he can't rally, he's immobilised. And I did speak about the fact that, yes, we could tow him, but I really can't see putting the resources into doing that, and I think it's going to be a waste. So I wasn't in any rush to move him, in the hope that maybe this guy might wander down into here and we could at least get a shot, shoot at it. So I probably don't want to push on with these just yet. But I will eventually. I will eventually have to move them. Because actual fact, that guy, that RE I looked at across there, is in the open, so we could get a look at him. Right, yeah, let's check for this then. Let's do a, now remember it's a 5 AP cost check, so he's more than likely going to be spent at doing this. But if we can actually get the required 9 for the rally, then it's worth it. So here we go, we're going to rally attempt. This costs 5 APs, we need a 9 or greater. 7, yeah. There you go, the 2 caps. Oh, you forgot about it again, Grant, haven't you? Damn. He gets a +1 for being in cover. So I turned it into an 8. Ah! That makes it worse. That makes it one closer. So it was an actual 8 result there because we got a +1, or not, or does it reduce the actual rally attempt to 8? Whatever, we were 1 short still. Right, so he needs to take a check, unfortunately on a 5. So a chance of a 6 maybe. That's a 4. And it wasn't a blue card. Right, so yeah, well that's him had his shot at that. It's a tough one to try and get. Could really do a cap or 2. But yeah, keep remembering you need to remember the terrain bonus, Grant. Right, so back to the AI, what do we get? It is not blue. So what have we got? Right, there's no close range. Sorry, close combat, short range. Can something fire? Yeah. Although I think this guy might not take that shot on as well, isn't it? It's a someone 1. So highest firepower AI closest to a unit that just acted. This is the unit that just acted. So nothing can fire on him. No, so nothing can fire on him. So we'll skip by. Hit AI closest to unit rally. Well, there's 2 hit AI now. One of them cannot rally. The other one could, but he's spent. What is the rally cost for that one? It's only an 8, isn't it? Yeah. And remember, he would get that bonus too. There's not. He's in open terrain though, so he's not going to get a +1 to that. Right. So highest firepower AI, furthest from the lowest defensive value unit. Fire even if long range. +1 caps. Ooh, the +1 caps. I wonder. So fire even in long range. Okay, so highest firepower or highest attack rating, if we want to be rewording it as it should be. Now, the reason I say that is because this guy's probably involved in this too, but rumoured enemy are always considered to have the lowest attack range. So, attack rating. So he's got the lowest. So this guy would be and I want to say that they're the only 2 units that can probably shoot at something. I might be wrong. That's the only 2 I can see across this side that have line of sight on one of my units. This guy's up behind all the woods here. If we go across the other side, this guy is kind of hidden behind here, so although this guy's probably got, if it wasn't for this, would have a shot. This guy's in behind the trees, he's spent anyway. This guy's, again, behind, not got that guy line of sight. And then our 2 units down here. Well, in actual fact, hello, I never spotted that. I think this guy could be revealed. And possibly, no. Because I think these have line of sight on him. Although it's a good bit away. I don't think this guy will because of this woods hex here. I get the feeling that might block it. But I'm pretty sure that's in line of sight. So let me have a look at that first, because that would mean revealing that guy. And it looks like it should have happened previously. Yeah, so I just done a check, and that guy is in line of sight. All the wrecks it's passing through They're all just +1 defense modifiers. They don't block line of sight. So he is in an open hex and should be revealed. The other guy, I was right in saying that you can see it's going through this hex here. So he's not. Oh, hold on. Yeah, because he's not got line of sight either because of that. However, this guy should be revealed. So let us do that. Because, I mean, there is a chance that it's probably not, but at long range, that might be long range for him attacking. But we need to know what it is. So let me draw, check out the Rumoured Enemy Cup, see what we get. Let's go for this one. Alright, it's a no enemy. I don't know if I wanted that or not. Well, it was one that was quite far away, I suppose. So that's 3 no enemies down. We've got 2 still to come. And, well, the rest will be Russian tanks. So, again, coming across here and looking, there's nothing else got a line of sight on any of our units. No, not that I can see. Right, okay, so we've decided there's nobody else that's got a line of sight. So we're back here, and yeah, so we've got 2 possible units, this one and this one. However, the highest firepower or highest attack rate in AI, furthest from the lowest defense value unit. This is not high. This is the highest. So this is the AI that we're using. Furthest from lowest defensive unit. Well, you can only fire at this. So I can't compare it with anything else because that's the only one he's got to fire on. So he'll fire even if at long range with +1 caps, but I don't know if that's going to be enough because that's going to be 7 against 18, and there you go. There's the magic 11 number again. So he cannot carry that out because he needs 11 or greater. So that does bring this guy in it, doesn't it? Because if he's the highest firepower, he would be the next highest firepower AI furthest from the lowest defense value unit. Fire even if long range, +1 caps. The problem here is, well, I don't know, maybe I do need to reveal this though. I think going by the rules, I would need to reveal this now. And it would mean that the AI pass rather than carry out the mission orders. This seems like a bit of a sort of gamey situation, but I'm not doing anything. I'm just following the rules. Because we know that this can only be... Well, actually, hang on. No, stop, Grant. The big KV-1A has got an attack rating of 7. So if that was him at 7, his range is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if he was 7, +1 caps, he'd be firing at 8 against 18. And that's a 10. So there you go, that doesn't make me feel as bad. But I don't think it would matter anyway. I think even if we knew that there was not a possibility that this could be a unit that could take the shot on, I think the rules don't care for that. The rules are still saying this unit's wanting to fire, so we look at RE attacking. Where is it? Yeah. If an order card orders the AI to attack and an RE is most eligible to attack, well, it's now the most eligible because he'll not take the shot on, so he's now the most eligible. Then a counter is drawn from the Rumoured Enemy Cup. So, like I say, but the fact that we could draw the KV-1A and then he would actually take the shot on. So I'm doing this. Am I? Yeah. Because then that'll also mean that if it's not the KV-1A, they will then be in a position like we had previously, which I wasn't sure of the answer. And again, why it's not written in a way that says, because it just says if the target is at long range from new place the AI and the card does not specify order, specifically order a long-range attack. The AI does not attack and passes. Well, to be honest, this one does have long range in it. But going by the conclusion of the question had been asked, and I think it was Lewis had said that because this unit was revealed and couldn't take the shot on, then the AI would pass. So, and I went with that. Although I'd preferred to have seen it written a bit better in the rules, but maybe that's just me being pussy. Right, we're going to do this. We're going to reveal this RE and see what it is. So we'll get that one there. Right, it is a tank, but it's not the KV-1A because it's only got a attack rating of 6. Ooh, this is one of the ones that's wheeled and got I can move 3 spaces, so we need to keep that in mind. Yeah, I'm just hold on a minute. Is that a misprint? It must be. Right, give me a second. Well, let's get him placed. So that's the one that was drawn. So, and he's going to be sitting in that terrain. He's fine facing that way, to be honest. He's still in that cover. He cannot take the shot on because he's a 6. He's getting a +1 cap, 7, but he's attacking. He's not attacking into the flank. He's attacking into the front. So, and that's 18. So it's 7 against 18. Needs an 11. So that is that, and so the AI pass because of that, which I'm not 100% comfortable about, but you know, these guys that know the rules better than me, sometimes you just got to take their take on it, you know. Because it's not even any point going asking that question, because the question was out there. I think it might have been Scott that had asked it, actually. I might be wrong. I'll maybe look it up again. Yeah, what I was a little baffled about is this guy here does not have a blue rectangle. Because when I seen this had the 2 green circles, and I thought, oh, he can move 3. I thought, hopefully I've not brought anybody else on that's got any weird kind of manoeuvre. Well, I'm going to have a look. What is that, a T-35? Is there more than one of them? You know what? No, there's only one. It's not got the bonus move. Well, the good thing about that is he's just come on the board recently, hasn't he? Yeah, because he was the one I was talking about. He was the one that wanted to take the shot, and then we found out it was 11, and then he passed. So I don't think he's moved once he's been revealed. Does that mean he does not get a bonus move then? I mean, it shows it in the actual mission part. It doesn't show the blue triangle there. So I was wondering if it's maybe a misprint on the counter. It's not on the back side either. So maybe some of them just don't. Maybe it's a big heavy thing or something. It looks quite a big tank compared to the other Silhouettes. Maybe do a wee quick search of T-35, see what I get. Right, I done a quick search for T-35 and got nothing. And I thought, that's strange. I would have thought maybe somebody might have asked something about it. Then I thought, well, why not look up the counters at the back? It gives you a description of every counter and the game. And again, the image of it does not show the little blue bonus rectangle. However, it does call it a T-35 heavy tank. A heavy multi-turret tank armed with 3 guns and 5 machine guns, prone to breakdown and poorly armoured, fought to extinction in 1941. So I looked at the rest of the Soviet tanks and vehicles, and there is one other one that doesn't have a bonus movement symbol, and that is a KV-2A heavy tank The tank buster provided close support for the KV-1A. Its main drawback was its slow speed. So there you're saying, and I wasn't saying it's slow speed, so maybe it explains it too, but that doesn't have the symbol 2. And then I thought with saying, calling it a heavy tank, maybe that was the sort of the name that was suggested. That, however, the KV-1A, the other one that we're trying to find, is also classed as a heavy tank. It says the most powerful serial-made tank at the beginning of the war. Its thick armour was almost impenetrable. It does have the bonus movement though. So I'm going to assume that they definitely are like that for a reason. And I'm just having a look at the German ones now. Yeah, there's a few actually. Panzerjäger doesn't have any bonus move. And just browsing down, I think there's one other one. Yeah, the B2F tank, a captured French heavy tank with its hull-mounted gun replaced by a flamethrower, doesn't have a bonus move. So my guess is that they don't have bonus moves, so I need to keep my eye out for that one. It is only this guy that we've got in the game that's got that, so I think all the rest of ours have. Yeah, and like I say, the KV-1A is fine. It has it. So, all good there. Just watching for I've got the little dog up with me here. She was whinging to get up, so just watching. She's not. I think she's grown out of chewing cables, but the other things maybe can still get chewed up. Right, so where were we? Yeah, I got a wee message back from Scott there. I'd replied to his comment. I know it's probably not relevant to anything here, but I talked to him about the fact I'd used the grenade card with the 3rd edition. He was going to go and have a look at that. And I think he's under the impression that he's maybe not so keen on the 3rd edition rules as well. And I said, yeah, I'm reverting back to the 2nd. He says he was playing with the stress rules, but the way he seems to think it should be played, I think, or the way he was playing it was just the player units that were getting stressed. I'm pretty sure it's not meant to be played like that. I replied to him that basically, and I'm sure there's a post out there that the designer talks about the fact that, you know, you can use the stress, use it on AI just the same as units. The problem I think you're going to have, and it's probably not going to show its head up too much, is, like I say, some of the order cards, you're going to have to look at one unit that's stressed and one that's not. But it's probably going to be a simple case of, look, these are both as close to the unit. One of them's stressed, one of them's not. You're going to use the one that's not stressed. I think it's going to be that. However, it could be the two units have got different attack ratings, and that's why I don't think that the solo rules cater. Well, the 3rd edition with using that stress rule, it's covered. I guess if you're doing it that way, Scott, you're making it harder for yourself, though, if you're just doing it on yourselves. So I'll let you get on with that one. But have a look out, see if you can find any comment by the designer on the stress rule regarding the solo side of it. I'm pretty sure there's something there. So if I get a chance myself, I'll have a wee hunt as well. Okay, where are we? Yeah, they just passed. Yeah, so it's back to us. Okay, so again, I'll leave these down here. See, I suppose the temptation now is to come straight up to that guy, isn't it? Rather, because this guy's spent, what would we be getting? It's still going to be a 14. He's only a 3, so it'd be 6 against 14. That's an 8. And in fact, if we decide to maybe try and move into his flank, he's got a good defense as well. So, although this guy could maybe have a shot. Well, let's move up and out. No, I can't, because I can't move through that building, can I? So I would have to move into that hex there. Is that going to be in his fire zone? It is, isn't it, Grant? Yeah, it definitely is. So he'd be firing a 6 against 16. You know what? That's maybe a wee bit bait to let him try it, because he will take that shot. That's a 10. and the fact it costs him 6 to fire would then end up being spent, and then it would give me the freedom to move on. Let's do it. Let's go 1, 2. Just keep my face in the same way, I think. And spent check on a 1. And we get that big 6. Look. Okay. Well, 6 isn't going to save him if he fires. I say he's definitely spent because they only go up to 6. Okay, so back across to them. Right, here we go. Right, it is not a blue card. If AI plus units are less than or equal to 6. No, because the AI count, the RE count for that. However, we don't have close combat or short range. Fresh AI less than fresh units. The AI passes. They have 2. No, they have 3. Because the RE doesn't count. There's 1, 2 here, and there's 1 away up to the right. So they have 3 fresh AI, and we've got 3. So it's not less than. He spent 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he spent. We've got 3 and they've got 3. So no, they're not going to pass. Because it is just less than. It's not less than or equal to. Right, AI closest to a target, low risk, move towards. Okay, well, I think it's going to be this guy to this guy, isn't it? Just browsing across the other side again. Yeah, there's nothing closer than that. Okay, so let's get a bit zoomed in a wee bit on that. So he is the AI that's closest to a target. That is his target. He wants the low risk to move towards that target. Now, actually, I don't think he can do that, can he? Because this is a different situation. Although, no, hang on, because he's in a fire zone to start with. So that is, he might be able to do it then. He's moving out a cover into a non-cover though, isn't he? Well, let's look. Because if it's not him, there's somebody else that could make the move anyway. So he is in a fire zone. Yeah, he's in a fire zone. So he will move into a non-fire zone hex first. Right? Can he move into a non-fire zone hex? And remember, he can't go backwards. He can't make the distance bigger. Right? So that's a definite no-no. So he needs to move into another hex that's the same or closer, and it be a non-fire zone hex. And there is not one, right? Because he, you remember he can. Oh no, he can't. I was just going to say, remember he can move 2 hexes. No, he can't. So he can only move 1 hex as well. He's not got bonus movement. I'm assuming that's how it is, because there was 2. If it had been just the 1 counter, then I would have thought it's been a misprint. But there's a few tanks that are like that. Okay, so he can't move into a non-fire zone hex. So now he will move into, the second one is, he will move into a fire zone hex that has the same or higher DM as the AI starting hex DM. Well, he can do that. He can back up into that hex. But here's the thing with that one, and this brings me back to that one. By doing that, he achieves nothing. He doesn't get closer. He doesn't move out of a fire zone. He's not moving into the unit's flank, and he's not moving into a heavy. If it was a heavy woods instead of the light woods, I would say yes, that would probably be his move. But he can't. So yeah, that's starting to make me feel better about that move. I've not got an answer yet, to my question, but I'm pretty sure. I'm feeling pretty confident that we got it right. So if he can't do that, then he will move towards the target's flank. If the AI cannot move closer and the hex is the same or higher DM or not in the fire zone. That's a bit of a mouthful. I wonder how it words it. That feels like an awful lot there. Let me see. Yeah, I'll move towards the target's flank if the AI cannot move closer. So Well, it can move closer here. It can't move into a non-fire zone hex, and it can't move into a same or higher DM hex without getting closer. I mean, it could move into this one and it'd be the same, but I see that as a pointless move, and I see that as a move that they can't do because it's not achieving anything in the movement hierarchy. So it's you just don't make that move. You need to find something else. So if it's needing to find something else, it'll move towards the target's flank if it cannot move closer. And the hex, see that's worded. Will move towards the target's flank if the AI cannot move closer and the hex is the same or higher DM or not in a fire zone. That just feels like a bit over-wordy, that, doesn't it? I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm just going to look in the 3rd edition solo rules. If I can find them. Just to see if that wording's been cleaned up a bit. That feels a bit... Ew. It's 5... But I get the feeling this is pretty much almost a copy and paste, this rule book, but maybe I'll be proven wrong here. 5.3.2 will move towards the target's flank if the AI cannot move closer and the hex is the same or higher. Yeah, it's exactly the same word done. It just feels awful wordy. Will move towards the target's flank if the AI cannot move closer and the hex is the same or higher DM. See, that's kind of telling me that we maybe can't do this, because that's not the same or higher DM, and neither is that. However, it is getting closer. And this one, see, this one feels odd, whereas the last time this unit was moving into a defense, a better defense hex and getting closer, and that's why it felt right. Just looking at the basic wording again in the playrade. Will move towards the target's flank if the AI cannot move closer. See, it doesn't give you all that higher DM hex stuff there, does it? It basically says, in the playrade it says, if the AI is in a fire zone, the AI, and then there's 4 bullets, will move into a non-fire zone hex. Right, we can't do that without achieving... No, we can't do that, because that's a fire zone. That would be going backwards. Can't do that. We'll move into a fire zone hex that has the same or higher DM as the AI starting hex DM. That's the only one that you could do to achieve that. However, that doesn't do anything. It's the same. It doesn't get them close. If it got them closer, yes. If it was more DM in there, if it was heavy wounds, yes, but no. And the way I'm reading it, no. And then the third one is, we'll move towards the target's flank if the AI cannot move closer. That feels like there's something missing. I mean, where did it talk about them just moving closer? Why does it not just have a third bullet in between that saying, we'll move closer to the... I mean, I know that's part of the normal movement hierarchy, but... You know, it's still trying to move closer. Yeah. Well, here we are again, I think. Actually, my belief is that it can move into one of these two, in actual fact. No, hang on, it can only move one, Grant, remember. It'll either move into one of these two hexes, I think. But again, you're just wondering, this is a low risk move. Can you do that? If it wasn't in a fire zone and it was moving into this hex and being in a fire zone, I would definitely say that it can't do that. The fact that he's in a fire zone feels like it's still allowed to do that if there's not a better option. I mean, the better option being into a better DM hex or out of the fire zone first, then into a better DM hex. But if it can't achieve that, it can still move one hex closer. It's It's got me wondering again. I'm going to go and do a bit more research. What are we at? 44 minutes. Battery's okay. Do need to take the dogs out at some point. It's quite warm just now though, so maybe I'll leave that a little bit. Yeah, I'm just not, again, feeling totally comfortable about this. Right, give me a sec, I'll see if I can find anything. Right, we're on pause quite a bit there. Just having a look at some of the forums and regarding low risk move. I mean, low risk moves, if I said that furthest from closest to command was for the way to deal with low risk move, has always had its challenges, hasn't it? I'm struggling with it here as well myself. The time when I was here, moving into a fire zone, but moving closer and into a stronger defensive modified hex, pretty sure that was right. But here we're now sitting at a position where this guy wants to low risk move towards him, and he's in a fire zone. So if he stays in a fire zone, if he can't get out of the fire zone, he can't, even though he's moving closer here, he's moving out of a 1 defense modified hex to a 0. If it was up from a 1 to a 2, that would have been fine. If he was moving out of the guy's fire zone, that would have been fine. However, he's not going to be able to achieve that. So I'm actually deciding that he can't make this move now. So I'm going to go with that. And again, I'm not... It's tricky because you look at the normal rules and you know that he could move in here. He's in a fire zone anyway. So he's still going to be in a fire zone. He's going to be 1 hex closer. Is that not fine? Yeah, for a normal move command it would be, but for a low risk move command it's not. It says that if it is going to move out of a fire, within a fire zone, it needs to move into a fire zone that has the same or higher DM as the AI starting hex. I mean, then it talks about getting closer and all that. I think the fact that we're not achieving that by there, I don't think I can do it. So I'm going to just put my stamp on that and just say that's how we're going to do it. Hopefully that's right as well. Maybe someday I'll pull me up if I've got these wrong. I've already asked a question about this one, so not an answer, not a reply yet, but I'm pretty sure it's right. And feeling better about that one now after just browsing some things. So, okay, so if he can't make the move, who's the next AI that is closest to a unit? Well, it could be this guy. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away. However, let me just look across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, he's 7 away. Sorry, I probably should show you. Let's just look across here. This is 7 away from these two guys. So not quite. And then we've got this guy. I don't think there's any... Well, this guy... Well, he's spent anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's 7 away. But he's spent anyway, that guy. So there's nobody that could low risk move towards him. Well, closest wise, that's his closest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So as we can look at this guy now. So let's see if he might be able to achieve a low risk move. Yeah, this could be interesting because he's actually got 3 movement. Well, hold on. It's all wheeled movement. So he needs to be on a road to use that, doesn't he? Let me just double check this. Yeah, the way I get this, he can move into an open hex. It doesn't cost him any more. It would just cost him the 1 AP. However, to use his 2 bonus moves, he needs to be on a road. And he would get... Or going over a bridge, so which is on a road. So, road congested vehicles may not make a wheeled bonus move or into a road hex that contains other vehicles. Right, okay. I don't think that'll matter. Well, I don't know. Just wonder if that wreck counts for something like that. You would think it would, if you imagine a wreck being on that road and he's moving. Yeah. Right, so it does look like so he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away from this guy. He's in his fire zone. He's maybe not going to move either. It's the same thing, Grant, isn't it? Because he's in a +1 DM hex. If he moves into here or here, he's still in a fire zone, and he's in a 0 DM hex. So actually, no, I don't think that guy is going to be able to do it. I was going to say we could have got on the road there, but that's going backwards. So then again, even moving down here, this doesn't blow a line of sight or anything, so it's still in his fire zone anyway. So if we're going to stick by how we're thinking about this, and they'll not move out of better defensive hexes to low risk move towards, unless obviously they're moving into a better DM hex or out of the fire zone. So maybe we are coming across to this guy. Hang on, what about this guy here while we're here? He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 away from. He's 9 away from this guy down here, which you can't see. But what did I not have a 7 across here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we've got a 7 across here. So I think this is going to happen because he's got trees he can move into. So I'm pretty sure this one's the next in line. He's 7 hexes away from either one of these. Now, maybe he doesn't go into the woods though, because if he goes in there, that's him stopped, and he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away. However, he could 2 hex move into here, and he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. So, in actual fact, unless, because he's not in a fire zone, so he wants to stay not in a fire zone. Obviously, that would stay not in a fire zone, so would that. However, the main movement hierarchy bullet is getting as close as possible, fewest number of hexes. That's going to be 6, that's going to be 5. Yeah, and that's going to be 6 as well. So I think 1, 2, he moves into there. Just let me leave a cube behind there and just have a look at that guy. Still not in a fire zone, which is the big thing, I think, for a low risk move. And he's moved 2 hexes closer. 2 hexes closer. He would only move 1 hex closer than either one of these. If they went around the other side, yeah, that doesn't get him closer. So yeah, and he's not in a fire zone from anybody else either. Yeah, so let's go with that one then. So, and that's only a check on a 1 as well, whereas if he'd went into the woods, not that covers it. And by the way, yeah, I was looking at this and wondering, I was thinking, a little surprised they maybe haven't inserted a sort of another priority in the fact that how much movement, how many APs the AI are going to use. Because there's 2 or 3 cases recently when we've found almost as good a hex. Well, you say almost as good, and is that not why the priority goes the other way, Grant? No, not really, because we were randomly rolling on some hexes. Yeah, we were randomly rolling on deciding if a unit would move. Yeah, I want to say actually, it was this guy here, and he got spent. Sorry from jumping away with that. This guy here was in here, and these possible moves were here, no, but then that wasn't a die roll, was it? I think there was one that we'd done a die roll, and what I'm trying to see here is, and maybe again, you guys that like to just jump in rule 42 that would deal with that, and there's where there is some sense in the rule. I just wish like these things were in the rules, because this one I'm talking about just now, I think could easily be inserted into the rules to say that, look, if there's a choice between an AI doing an AP check on a 1, an AP check on a 3, and you're going to randomly die roll between the two hexes to see which one it's going to move to, then it makes sense. And yeah, and you guys are nodding your head that use rule 42, just say, yeah, move into the one. But it'd be nice if that was in the rules, which I think it could be. But maybe that's just me. Okay, well, we'll just go with how we're doing things. So he's going to take a check on a 1, and he pulls a 6. That's 2 6s recently, isn't it? Right. Okay. So 55 minutes. I probably could do with taking a break as well, though. But I'm hoping to get a couple more parts in today. I've got plenty of time. Although I say that now and then the time just dwindles away, doesn't it? But yeah, I better take a break just now, and that's coming up for an hour anyway. So I'll put this one, get this one copied across, and so it'll be us to go next. What is our thinking? Well, yeah, the fact we've got this guy spent. This guy is not, though. We were kind of hoping he would maybe take a shot on, a long shot, get spent so that we could kind of come up here. I can still move up. I think I can still take my chances because it is quite a long shot. It's still going to be like a 10 he needs to roll, I think. So probably going to move into here. And then probably take on. Not seeing many blue cards coming up though, that's a worry. Right, okay, I'll be back later. Cheers.